The Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. The drought in central Illinois is beginning to ease, and the spring outlooks show more precipitation on the way. Some substantial rainfall late last week with some severe weather in central and northern Illinois will definitely ease the drought conditions in the state. Ed Shimon at the National Weather Service in Lincoln indicates the severe weather rains of March are going to help ease the drought.
Yeah, we did get some beneficial rains, though, early in the month, and then again a couple other times near the 11th, and then again on the 15th. So we're actually above normal precip for the month. We're above normal by almost 2.5 inches. So not too bad, but it's taking a bite out of the drought, but not completely getting rid of it, as you can imagine. It's still there in DeWitt County is solidly in D2 severe drought yet, but we did drop a category. We were at D3 at extreme drought. So we're in the right direction. And with the outlooks being above normal precip all the way through middle April, we could maybe go down another category down into just moderate drought, hopefully, in the DeWitt County area. And that'll be helpful. Dr. Trent Ford, the state climatologist, he coordinates with us in the Midwest Regional Climate Center any changes that we make to that drought conditions. Every Thursday, they update those. By late morning, they'll issue the new one. And that considers rain only through about Tuesday morning at about 7 or 8 a.m. And then they'll put that into the works. So if we get rain, on Wednesday or even Thursday on some weeks, it goes into the following week's update. But yeah, we're looking good if we can get some of that beneficial rain here.
The concern with a lot of rain all at once is that it becomes runoff for the lakes and streams. But Shimon points out that the ground is so dry it is ready to soak up almost any level of moisture that may come the way of central Illinois.
The ground is ready to soak it up. So, if we get anything from an inch down, even if it falls really rapidly, the ground is ready to soak that up. It comes when you get over like 2 inches. Then it's got to come slower or it's going to run off. But that topsoil is ready to you can hear it just soaking in it when it hits the ground. We can get a quick inch and that won't go to the runoff phase yet. The ground is really ready to soak it in. So we should, whatever falls in it.
According to Shimon, March will likely end up above normal for temperatures, given some of the warm stretches we've had. Additionally, the severe weather of this month is keeping things above normal for precipitation as well.
We're almost 6 degrees above normal, and that's not going to get any lower. I mean, even with the cold snap Friday night, we're just going to be a little below normal there, not too bad. But we're going to finish the month, pretty solidly above normal with how high we're going to see the temperatures on Thursday, and then closing out the month with a warm up again Saturday into Sunday. So we'll probably end up roughly right around 6 degrees above normal, which is really high. That many degrees above normal. I don't know if it's going to be top 10, but certainly. It's nice to see. Sunny days, there were 10 sunny so far this month and 7 partly cloudy. So only 7 of the days were considered cloudy, 80% or higher cloud cover. The rest were 17 of the days had more sunshine than clouds for the most part.
Looking into April, precipitation and temperatures look to be above normal for the month. Shimon explains that some of these warmer nights are allowing the grass, plants, and other vegetation to grow.
Right now, the first half, this 3 to 4 week outlook goes all the way through the 3rd week of April, and it's 40th to 50th percentile of above normal temperatures, and the same thing with above normal precipitation, 40th to 50th percentile, tipping the balance toward above normal precipitation. So, it looks like we're going to have a mild first half, at least, if not first 3 weeks on the balance, and a little bit more moisture hitting the ground. So. Usually through those 3 weeks, we have about 2.5 to 3 inches of rain. So that would be a lot. If we can get above normal on that, up to 4 inches, we could really take a bite out of some more of that drought. 59 and 36 are the normal high-low to start off the month. And then we warm to 70, 46. So 70 is a normal highs night. I love that sound. So, and then mid 40s, 46 for a normal low by the end of April.
That's great.
Those flowers, everything's really growing. Buds are coming out. You're cutting your lawn possibly already. Get some moisture, and then the warm nights help the grass stay vibrant. Because if we have cold nights, then the grass goes a little dormant for those 8 to 12 hours. But if there's a warm overnight, then the grass just really starts to go crazy.
While Shimon stops short of saying the last of the snowfall has come for the season, he does note that anything that falls will quickly melt because the ground has warmed up so much in March. Additionally, past April, the precipitation predictions drop off a little bit. Also, as we get into the severe weather season and outdoor sports season, lightning awareness starts to become a top-of-mind issue for weather experts. Visit weather.com/Lincoln for more. Coming up shortly on this expanded newscast, Senator Doris Turner passes bill enhancing access to agricultural education across Illinois. Last month, Social Security reached a major milestone in the number of personal MySocialSecurity accounts. Over 100 million Americans have chosen to set up their personal MySocialSecurity account. Jack Myers with Social Security indicates that MySocialSecurity is your personal online portal to Social Security.
Yeah, I think we should acknowledge the milestone with my Social Security account. Last month, we reached this major milestone in the number of personal My Social Security accounts. So, if you go to ssa.gov, when you're there, you can find a lot of general information. But if you want to get personalized stuff, you want to see your earnings record, you want to see your estimates of future benefits, you want to file for your retirement or disability benefits, you need to go a step further and set up your own personal My Social Security account. We, like I said, hit that milestone last month where we got 100 million Social Security accounts or My Social Security accounts set up online. So, that's a pretty big deal. That's a lot of people. We are trying to increase that. We want more and more people to have access to that.
Myers reminds that with a MySocialSecurity account, you can receive tailored notifications, request a replacement Social Security card, manage benefits, or estimate future benefits, or request replacement documents, among many others.
It's not something that we recommend waiting until retirement age or until you need to file for disability to do. We encourage adults who are 18 or over to go ahead and set that account up now. One of the big reasons is because it's very important to just take a look at that earnings record on kind of a flow basis. Make sure that those earnings are being reported every year to your record, and take a look at those estimates of future benefits. Those are very good things to know. What's your future retirement benefit going to be? But for a young person who's just getting started in the workforce, maybe you want to know what you would qualify for if you were to become disabled. Or if you're a new parent, maybe it's important to know what your child would qualify for if you passed away. These are all important pieces of information, and maybe can even help shape your decisions financially when you're trying to figure out how much life insurance you need, or do you need to buy a private disability policy. Knowing what you already pay for through your Social Security deductions is an important piece of that puzzle.
If you've tried creating an account and run into trouble authenticating your identity with either login.gov or id.me, visit the Social Security site and try the other credential provider. You can access My Social Security through either one. Login.gov is the blue button or id.me is the green button. They are different credentialing services, but both will lead you to the same My Social Security account. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
March into Baum Chevrolet Buick and march out with a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. We have over 20 Silverados to fit your daily work needs in 1500, 2500, and 3500s in gas or diesel, all sale priced. Also, check out the Colorado pickup. This size and maneuverability may be another option as well. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Baum Chevrolet Buick, right from the start.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 19 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. This spring, the world of agriculture will hopefully see bright days ahead of it as State Senator Doris Turner is making moves to help shape our future agriculture leaders. Building on her work to expand education in agriculture, Turner passed a measure through the state to increase access to agricultural education programs across the entire state of Illinois. Turner says that our state's agriculture industry provides various paths that can lead to good-paying jobs, and that students deserve to have the opportunity to discover the number of avenues within the ag industry. Her bill, which recently passed, known as Bill 3226, requires the Illinois State Board of Education to submit a report on the status and availability of agricultural education programs statewide. The report would also be required to include trends, challenges, and obstacles to overcome, opportunities for expansion, and recommendations to better align agricultural education with workforce and post-secondary opportunities in agriculture and agribusiness. Turner also says that she's seen students who join the FFA after taking one agricultural education course, and that by expanding access to ag ed programs that are currently available, they are shaping the future of ag leaders. Senate Bill 3226 passed the Senate with bipartisan support. This spring, families across the country and even here in the Illinois region may suddenly discover they need a safe place to sleep, a warm meal, and help replacing essentials that might have been lost in minutes. This is the time of year that severe and volatile weather loves the most. That spike in severe weather increases the risks of flooding from coast to coast. Wildfires also pose a threat to the drought-stricken Southwest and Southeast. The American Red Cross of Illinois is urging you to help out if you can. You can help ensure families don't face these tragic and life-changing disasters alone on Red Cross Giving Day. Red Cross Giving Day takes place today, and you can support disaster relief at redcross.org/givingday. According to a report by the American Red Cross, January produced severe winter storms that forced families across multiple states to turn to the Red Cross for support. In that specific month alone, the organization provided more meals and snacks than during the previous year's record-breaking wildfires in Los Angeles. In February, the Red Cross opened more than 100 shelters across the country for families displaced by winter storms stretching from California to the Northeast, alongside extensive flooding on the West Coast and wildfires across the plains. To narrow it down to just Illinois, the American Red Cross states that over the past year, Illinoisans have experienced disasters such as the Kankakee tornado response, which impacted hundreds of people. Additionally, local volunteers have provided comfort and hope to over 2,275 people after 475 house fires across Illinois since January 1st. Donating on Giving Day provides assistance to the Red Cross with stocking warehouses with urgently needed relief supplies, training volunteers in advance so they can respond immediately, and maintaining ready vehicles, logistics systems, and equipment, setting up shelters quickly and pre-identified in safe locations, and making sure families aren't alone in the first few hours of tragedy. According to the Red Cross, a gift of any size makes a difference. If financial support isn't an option, donating blood or volunteering for relief efforts is just as appreciated. The American Red Cross states that they need blood now more than ever. This year's severe weather has already caused thousands of blood donations to be forced to go uncollected. Donors in unaffected areas make it possible for the Red Cross to continue meeting patient needs. Illinois Secretary of State Alexi Giannoli is warning of a text messaging scam.
We're issuing a public service announcement urging all Illinois residents to please exercise caution when receiving unsolicited text messages that appear to come from the Illinois Secretary of State or the DMV. These fraudulent texts look more and more official every day. They sound urgent and they are designed to scare people into clicking a link or paying an alleged fine. I want to be absolutely clear. These text messages are not from our office. We've been monitoring and notifying the public of these scams since they first came on our radar almost a year ago. And since then, they've continued to evolve, becoming even more sophisticated. Scammers are using more convincing language, fake deadlines, and fabricated legal citations to trick people into acting quickly. While every Illinoisan can be targeted, we know that vulnerable individuals, including seniors and residents with limited digital literacy, are more likely to fall for these schemes. That's why we're encouraging everyone to please talk to loved ones who may be at risk. As I've said before, our office will never send a text message demanding payment or threatening to revoke your driver's license. If you receive a text message like that, do not click. Do not respond. It is a scam.
More info at ilsos.gov. Governor J.B. Pritzker declared March as the month of the woman farmer in Illinois. He highlighted a proclamation at last week's Ag Legislative Day in Springfield.
Now, I'm excited today to highlight the extraordinary role that women play in strengthening our agricultural economy and our rural communities. Across the state, nearly 34,000 female producers representing more than a quarter of our agricultural leadership are keeping the industry moving and blazing a trail for the next generation. And I have proudly issued today a proclamation declaring March 2026 as Illinois Month of the Woman Farmer, and am excited to honor the women named in the proclamation, leaders in agricultural education and youth development and state government, including Mindy Elvidge Bunselmeyer, first female state FFA president in Illinois and current Illinois FFA Center executive director, Betsy Pett, the first female agriculture teacher in Illinois, Janice Seitz, the first woman to serve as 4-H director in Illinois, and Becky Doyle, the first female director of the Illinois Department of Agriculture.
Also honored in the proclamation is the late Annette Colhagen Fleck, the woman behind Annie's Project, a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing educational programs designed to strengthen women's roles in modern agricultural enterprises. USDA Tuesday releases its annual prospective plantings report to estimate how many acres of what crops will be planted this season. Now for your local obituaries. Ellen K. West 78 of Clinton passed away at 10:09 p.m. March 28th at Gibson City Hospital in Gibson City. Arrangements are incomplete at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton. Ralph E. Greider, 87 of Anchor, Illinois, passed away at 6:12 a.m. March 21st at his family home in Anchor. Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton is in charge of arrangements. Online condolences may be made at calvertmemorial.com. Marla R. Elderton, 76 of Clinton, passed away at 9:58 a.m. March 20th at the Ark at Normal in Normal, Illinois. Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton is in charge of arrangements. Online condolences may be made at calvertmemorial.com. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. It's DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news is now.
SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The Homeland Security budget impasse apparently not convincing Congress to scuttle its 2-week break. The standoff has seen thousands of TSA officers go without pay for more than a month, and hundreds of the airport security officers have quit. Some relief is on the way, thanks to President Trump. His executive order means paychecks could start going out as early as today. The president ordered ICE agents to help with security at the airports, and at some of those airports, the delays are starting to ease a bit. The president not ruling out the possible seizure of Iran's Karg Island oil terminal in the Persian Gulf. On the other hand, Mr. Trump says he's pretty sure a deal for a ceasefire in the Iran war can be reached with the latest crop of leaders in Tehran. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures 263 points higher. Nasdaq futures are up 118. More details, srnnews.com.
These are uncertain times. Ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East and beyond continue to shake global markets, driving up energy costs and creating widespread volatility. Gold has responded as history shows it does, climbing to new highs as a proven safe haven against inflation and unrest. Silver follows strong, offering even more protection for diversified portfolios. Call True Gold Republic at 800-300-GOLD for your free guide on protecting your retirement. If you're 55 or older, approaching or enjoying retirement, and have significant savings, you understand why stability matters now more than ever. Paper assets can vanish in a crisis, but precious metals have endured for generations. True Gold Republic helps Americans like you protect what you've built with real gold and silver IRAs. Call 800-300-GOLD for your free wealth protection guide today. No obligation, just information. Consult your tax professional before investing. Call 800-300-4653. That's 800-300-GOLD.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times today, with daytime highs approaching 79. Southwesterly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, lows dip down to about 62. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun tomorrow, chance of thunderstorms, daytime highs approaching 80. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Right now, 59.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Illinois secured its third straight Big Ten Series win with a 6-0 road victory over Penn State on Sunday afternoon. Aiden Flynn and Reed Gannon combined for the 3-hit shutout as the Fighting Illini improved to 6-6 in Big Ten play this season. Gannon earned the win, throwing 5 innings while only allowing 1 hit and striking out 3. Flynn got the start and went 4 innings with 3 strikeouts. At the plate, J.R. Nelson went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs, while Will Johannes posted a 2 for 3 day with 2 runs and scored an RBI. Michael Farina and Nick Groves accounted for the Illini's other 2 RBIs. Johannes opened the scoring with a double in the second, and in the home half of the fourth, after the Nittany Lions loaded the bases, Flynn forced an inning-ending double play to keep the hosts scoreless. The Illini carried the momentum into the fifth, scoring twice to extend their lead to 3-0. That advantage then grew to 5 with an RBI from Nelson and Groves in the 7th before Nelson capped off his big day with a run-scoring single in the 8th. The Illinois State baseball program secured a 15-9 victory over Evansville in the series finale Sunday afternoon at German American Bank Field at Charles H. Braun Stadium. With the win, the Redbirds improved to 18-10 overall and 4-2 through 6 games in Missouri Valley Conference play. Graham Mastros headlined the Redbirds offense with 4 hits, including 2 home runs in the contest, to secure his second game this season with 2 or more homers. Mastros added a double and a single to stay a triple shy of completing the cycle. Louis Boussard added his first multi-hit game as a Redbird with a career-high 4 hits in the contest, including 2 doubles. Boussard tallied another career best after tallying 3 RBIs in the game. Camden Karchewski and Cannon Coakley became the third and fourth Redbirds with multiple hits as the pairing added 3 hits in the victory. Karchewski recorded his first game at Illinois State with 3 hits, as Coakley tallied his second game this season with at least 3 hits. Luke Teschke tallied a career-best 6 strikeouts on his path to securing his second career victory. Teschke tossed 5 innings and limited Evansville to only 2 hits and 1 run. Jackson Reynolds drove in 4 runs, and Clinton used a 6-run 6th inning to pull away from Ridgeview 10-4 in non-conference high school baseball action from Colfax on Saturday. Reynolds' 2-run single in the 6th scored Grady Douglas and Ryan Pine to put the Maroons up 7-4. Jack Manning followed with an RBI triple that plated Reynolds, and then Josh Bass mashed an RBI double that scored Manning to make it 9-4. Preston Curtis struck out 7 in 4 innings of 1-run ball. The 1 run was unearned. Brock Wilson allowed 3 unearned runs on the mound in 2 innings and struck out 3. Clinton committed 3 errors. Manning finished 3 for 4. Reynolds was 2 for 5, while Bass was 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Clinton goes to 3-3 overall and will visit Sullivan on Tuesday. The Clinton Lady Maroons could only muster 6 base runners and were blanked 10-0 in non-conference high school softball action on Saturday in Clinton. Avery Smith had the only hit for Clinton on Saturday. Riley Fentress was one of 3 Lady Maroons to draw a walk, while Sierra Sickles was hit by a pitch twice. Clinton falls to 3-3 overall. They host Sullivan on Tuesday. Jake Motsgood plated the winning run in the bottom of the 10th inning, and Monticello walked off New Berlin 3-2 in non-conference high school baseball action on Saturday in Monticello. Dawson Gatros singled with 1 out. Cole Bassick was then hit by a pitch to set up first and second with 1 out. Coy Williams hit a hardliner to third for the second out. Grant Kiger walked to load the bases, and Motsgood delivered the game-ending hit to short to preserve Monticello's unbeaten start to the 2026 spring season. The Pretzels got 2 in the first, but Coy Williams singled home 2 to tie the score in the 5th. Jax Bailey doubled twice among his 3 hits to lead the Sages offensively. Motsgood had 3 hits as well. Forrest Rodden struck out 7 in 4 innings of work. Zeke Young followed with 7 strikeouts and 5 innings of shutout ball. And Dawson Gatros earned the win while striking out 2 in an inning of shutout relief. Monticello goes to 7-0. They will host Lincoln on Monday. Hear the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. Sadie Walsh hit a walk-off 3-run homer as Monticello took down Charleston 10-7 in non-conference high school softball action on Saturday in Monticello. With 2 outs and the score tied at 7, Meadow Miller singled to center. Thea Key followed with a single to left. Walsh followed with a blast to center that helped the Lady Sages hold off a furious comeback by Charleston. Walsh drove in a run with a double in a 2-run first for Monticello. She scored Miller on a sac fly in the second, and Cassidy Stoffel singled in a run 2 batters later to make it 5-0 Monticello. Key finished 4 for 4 with 4 runs scored. Walsh was 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs and 3 runs scored. Annie Robinson and Reese Steiger each added doubles for Monticello. Monticello is 7-2. They will host Decatur St. Teresa on Tuesday afternoon. Hear the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. Tyler Cross scored. Preston Cohen and Mount Pulaski walked off Litchfield 7-6 in non-conference high school baseball extra inning action on Saturday in Mount Pulaski. With the game tied at 6-6, Cohen drew a leadoff walk in the bottom of the 8th. Luke Martin followed with a single to center field. Aaron Voley singled on a shallow fly ball to right field that loaded the bases. Cross came to the plate and singled to center to easily score Cohen, and the Hilltoppers won its second straight after a contentious contest with Williamsville on Friday afternoon. Litchfield jumped out in front 2-0 in the first inning, but the Hilltoppers proceeded to score the next 4. Cross tied the game with a 2-run single in the first inning. Mount Pulaski added 2 more in the second to go up 4-2. Litchfield went back in front with 2 more in the second inning, but Jalen Jackson plated a 2 with a single to right center field in the third inning to tie the game back up at 4. Litchfield answered with a big run in the top of the fourth inning to go 5-4. A Luke Martin single to right center in the bottom of the fourth gave Mount Pulaski a 6-5 lead. Litchfield would tie the game in the top of the seventh to force extra innings and set up the Mount Pulaski walk-off in the extra frame. Martin was 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs to lead the Hilltoppers. Voley was 2 for 3 with a double, while Cross was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Mount Pulaski is 2-2 overall. They will host Illini Central Hart M on Tuesday. A 3-run third inning helped back a complete game effort by Carson Komnick as Lincoln took down Eureka 3-2 in the opener of what would be a Saturday doubleheader sweep for the Rail Splitters and Lincoln. Owen Comstock cleared the bases with a double in the third inning that gave Lincoln a 3-2 lead. Komnick took over from there. He went the distance, allowing 2 runs on 6 hits with a walk and 4 strikeouts. In the second game, Lincoln took advantage of 3 Dragons errors and an erratic pitching to double up Eureka 6-3. Cooper Kohler put Lincoln up 1-0 with a run-scoring double in the second inning, and a wild pitch scored the second run of the frame for a 2-0 Rail Splitters lead. After Eureka got on the board in the fourth, a Komnick single would score 2 to extend the Lincoln lead to 4-1. Grady Rutledge struck out 7 and 5 1/3 innings of 3-run ball for Lincoln in the second game. The Rail Splitters used just 3 arms in 2 games as Tate Owl finished out the win with an 1 2/3 innings of 1-hit relief with a strikeout. Austin Lucas was 2 for 2 for Lincoln. Komnick drove in 2 while Kohler had the only other RBI for the Rail Splitters in the second game. Lincoln is 5-2 on the season. They will travel to Monticello on Monday. Hear the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. Ace Giles and Caden Blanc drove in 3 runs apiece, and Maroa-Forsyth exploded late for a 12-2 run rule win over Paxton-Buckley-Loda in non-conference high school baseball action on Saturday in Paxton. The Trojans trailed 2-0 going into the fourth, but back-to-back 6-run frames ended the game in 5 innings. Maroa-Forsyth didn't have an extra base hit for the game. Giles was 2 for 3 with 3 runs batted in, while Blanc was 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Brady Rose added 2 RBIs for the Trojans. Blanc struck out 7 innings of struck-out relief. Maroa-Forsyth goes to 4-1 overall. They host Lamont on Monday at 11 a.m. Freshman Keaton Wagler scored 25 points, and Illinois ended Iowa Hawkeyes' underdog March Madness run by dominating in the front court, beating the Hawkeyes 71-59 on Saturday to end a Final Four drought that dated to 2005. This will be the 6th trip to the Final Four for Illinois, which has never won a national title. The Illini will face UConn next weekend in Indianapolis. The much taller Illini, who are 28-8, out-rebounded Iowa 38-21. David Mirkovic led the way with 12 rebounds. Illinois also outscored Iowa 40-12 in the paint. Stojakovic scored 17 points for third-seeded Illinois. Bennett Sturts scored 24 points for the ninth-seeded Hawkeyes, who finished the season 24-13 and knocked off top-seeded Florida in the second round as a part of an impressive run under first-year coach Ben McCollum, a four-time Division II national champion at Northwest Missouri State. The Illini went on an 8-0 run with 4 points from Tomislav Ivicic to take a 58-51 lead with less than 5 minutes remaining. Isaiah Howard made one of 2 free throws for Iowa after that, but an alley-oop dunk by Zvonimir Ivicic pushed the lead to 60-52 with about 4 minutes to go. Sage Tate hit 4 consecutive free throws for Iowa to get the Hawkeyes within 4 with 2 minutes to go, but Stojakovic added a layup for Illinois before Wagler made 2 free throws to make it 67-59. Illinois never led in the first half, but took its first lead just after halftime. There were a dozen lead changes before the Illini pulled away. In scores from around the MLB last night, the Kansas City Royals beat the Atlanta Braves 4-1, while the Baltimore Orioles took down the Minnesota Twins 8-6. The Texas Rangers beat the Philadelphia Phillies 8-3. The Toronto Blue Jays beat the Athletics 5-2, while the Cincinnati Reds beat the Boston Red Sox 3-2. The Miami Marlins beat the Colorado Rockies 4-3, while the Pittsburgh Pirates beat the New York Mets 4-3 in the 10th inning. The Milwaukee Brewers beat the Chicago White Sox 9-7, while the Houston Astros beat the LA Angels 9-7. The Tampa Bay Rays beat the St. Louis Cardinals 11-7, while the Washington Nationals beat the Chicago Cubs 6-3, and the Seattle Mariners shut out the Cleveland Guardians 8-0. In NCAA men's basketball action from Sunday in the Elite Eight, number 1 Michigan beat 6-seeded Tennessee 95-62. While 2-seed UConn beat 1-seed Duke 73-72. In scores from around the NBA, the LA Clippers beat the Milwaukee Bucks 127-113, while the Indiana Pacers took down the Miami Heat 135-118. The Boston Celtics beat the Charlotte Hornets 114-99, while the Toronto Raptors routed the Orlando Magic 139-87. The Brooklyn Nets beat the Sacramento Kings 116-99, and the Portland Trail Blazers beat the Washington Wizards 123-88. The Houston Rockets took down the New Orleans Pelicans 134-102, while the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the New York Knicks 111-100. The Denver Nuggets beat the Golden State Warriors 116-93. In the NHL last night,